Live.
Yes, we are. And it's a good day to be alive, too, eh?
Oh God, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm finally away from my house, which is a weird thing to say, but I've had way too much work to go on a house which is quite old, and now things are breaking at once. So, fun, fun, fun.
Okay. Oh, it's
I
been a
came
very
across
interesting morning so far.
you have, and what's been going on?
Oh, I got into one of the books that I'm reading for my TBR, my physical TBR that is. Sit. Sit. No. You want a different treat. Okay. I don't have any other treats. Here. I have one treat. You sit. Sit. Okay. There you go, hon. Yeah. I would hungry, huh? Yeah. Okay. There you go, hon. Oh, anyway, yeah. Beyond the darkness, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I got through to the second chapter. I'm at the third chapter now. So, yeah. I'm actually going to minimize myself a little bit so I'm not so large. And yeah, I told you about those books last night that I'm looking into. The one that I'm not going to read, but I'm thinking about reading.
Yes.
That's this one right here.
Okay, you are currently frozen on my screen, so you have to describe what you're holding up.
Am I really frozen?
Yes. I can take a screenshot and show you.
Okay, hold on.
Well, no, now you just started moving, but
Okay.
you still have that confused look on your face. How to kill your best friend? Okay.
Yep. That one I was like, well, should I or shouldn't I? So I'm gonna give it another chance. The other book that I was diving into last night when you told me about that one movie.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You watched it?
I was watching it, yes. That movie.
It's a good movie. We're talking about The Train to Busan, a Korean thriller, which is a very well-written movie.
I'm gonna dash your hopes for a second. I give that movie 2 out of a 5.
Really?
Yes, really.
Wow.
The reason I say that is because, in my opinion, the movie is a low budget film. I don't know how much money it had, but by the making, the producing, the editing, the directing, the whole thing. It looks like it's a very low budget film.
Okay.
In fact, why don't I do this? What was it called again? I'm going to go on to IMDb.
It is The Train to Busan.
The Train to Busan?
Busan. Busan. Now, it is actually... It is a classic thriller. It is not a bucket of blood movie. It's a zombie movie, yes. But it is more of a thriller, a psychological film, than an in-your-face style of that genre. I mean, there are some really good, scary scenes to it because the tension is there. There's also sad moments as well. And what I liked was it kept you going through the course of the film, even to the end, as to who was going to survive. I liked that part. Because in a lot of traditional zombie movies, you have a core group of a few people, and they always seem to survive through the end. Here, it really kept you going up until the end of it as to who was going to survive.
Well, the ratings are 7.6 out of a 10. So in my rating, I'm not very much off from that because I only go up to 5.
Well, if you
So
went to 4, if you went to 10, you'd probably give them a 4.
no, right. If I went to 10, so
Yeah.
so I am International Movie Database, or IMDb, gives them a 7.6. Roughly, I would say an 8 out of a 10.
Yeah.
So I roughly give them at least a 2, if not a 3. So it's in the middle of the road. What I want to mention about that is that the direction of the movie, the actors that are getting the direction from the director, no. The movie. Okay, have you ever watched the movie The Ring?
No. Because that's the type of horror movie I don't care for. I don't like that. I don't like Saw. I like good classic movies. Phantasm is a good horror movie. I like that.
Okay. At first, I didn't like watching Saw when it came out, and then later on, after I had things go on in my life, I watched it because I wanted man to suffer. Anyway, point being is that I love the gruesomeness, the horror, the blood, the guts, everything. I love that. And I will say this, in my opinion, if they would have actually got a few actors that were contortionists, they could actually move their body and everything else around to propel them, because the second movie for The Ring, the sequel, that movie itself, oh my God. I mean, you've seen that movie though, right? The train to Durham, or whatever it's called. No, Train to Busan. Have you seen that movie?
It is The Train to Busan.
Have you seen it?
Several times. I own it.
Okay. Well, that movie, when these people, these zombies, are getting up, from the floor or the floor in the train.
Yes.
And they're like, basically rebuilding themselves from within so that they can actually walk.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot better, in my opinion, if they would have actually hired contortionists, to start doing that and edit it, or put a stunt man in there or stunt woman in there to do that and bring them forward, because it's very, in my opinion, it's very cheesy.
Okay.
Or limited, that the way that they did that. So, and the only time that I really got freaked out was when the lady waved over the little kid to go to the bathroom, and he went into the bathroom. She was about to go into the bathroom, and all of a sudden there was a zombie coming right after her. It's like, that's the only time that I jumped. It's like,
really? What about what about when they had to go through those several train cars of zombies to reach the people who were trapped on the other side of them? And
I was laughing so hard. I was like, really? What?
No, because
that's why I say it's cheesy.
No, what they were showing is that the zombies were only active during when there was light. When the train was in darkness, the zombies just stood there. So they had a small window to get past the zombies before the train came out of the tunnel. And you're moving a larger group of people through. It just, to me, that was good. The part with the government official, you knew eventually he was a jerk. And it was just a moment of when he would get his. But, there was some moments that, to me, I don't want to give too much away. It's available on YouTube or Tubi, Tubi. But on the train at the end with the father, the daughter, the girl, and the government official, that to me was one of the sadder moments.
It's a good movie. It's an okay movie. Yeah. It's just I was expecting, I guess, more horror than anything.
Well, this is more of a thriller, a psychological thriller. That right? It's not like the Night of the Living Dead movies where you have blood and guts flying. This is a really good scare. This is a really good horror movie. It goes back to the older days of horror when it was well written, not in your face stuff.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you might like Phantasm. Maybe not. I don't know.
But I do know that I watched it. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, what is it? Do you like watching horror movies or anything that scares heebie-jeebies out of you, or no?
I like good horror movies. Alien was a good film. The first Friday the 13th was a good movie. The first Halloween was a good movie. Those were well written, good movies. The sequels kind of, as farther went on, for me, it became more of a silly thing. But okay. I don't care for the bucket of blood type films.
Okay. I was just wondering because there are. You and I are going to differ.
I live with cats, so I'm always in fear. So no, but no. So, I like different type. I like those type of horror movies. I don't really care for the modern stuff.
No. Okay. I'm different because I prefer, honestly, if it's gonna be a horror movie or a psycho thriller, you're good. I mean, if a psycho thriller, it's gonna really twist my brain. It's like, oh my god, you're like glued to the TV or glued to the device. It's like you're on the edge of your seat because you can't stop watching. What's gonna happen next? That's with me in psycho thrillers. I'm guessing.
To me, those are kind of like train wreck movies. You're there to see what happens next. But I like, the Alfred Hitchcock type thrillers. I prefer smarter written movies. So.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Then moving on. The other two books.
Yes.
That's one.
Okay.
And considering I don't read many male authors.
Yeah, you were saying that before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the author.
Okay.
So he's, Yeah.
I
mean, it takes me back. I mean, I'll read
Now, why did you decide to read, why is it you decide to read a few male authors since you prefer the female perspective?
Well, because of what this looks like to begin with.
Okay.
Okay, looking at the cover, I see basically a license plate that's looks like it's full of blood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And apparently those are mosquitoes on the top and bottom.
Yeah.
And then I picked it up from the library yesterday, and the back of it says, "Come to Christmasland. What would you do for a lifetime pass to a place where every morning is Christmas and unhappiness is against the law? Don't give up on wonder. Don't give up on dreams. We're looking for go-getters who love children and aren't afraid of adventure."
Okay.
And in the beginning here, I'll read this little blurb here, at least a paragraph of it. It says, for the NOS 482, which happens to be I didn't know this, but it happens to be the license plate on the 1938 Rolls Royce that the guy drives.
Okay.
So Victoria McQueen has an uncanny knack for finding things: a misplaced bracelet, a missing photograph, answers to unanswerable questions. When she rides her bicycle over the rickety old covered bridge in the woods near her house, she always emerges in the places she needs to be. Vic, which happens to be short for Victoria, doesn't tell anybody about her unusual ability, but she knows no one will believe her. She has trouble understanding it herself. So the beginning chapter of it starts out with Charles Talent Max, which happens to be the man in the hospital bed. Don't know why he's there. He's probably there for an asylum, Sit.
Okay.
So Charles Talent Max has gift of his own. He likes to take children for rides in his 1938 Rolls Royce Wraith with the vanity plate NOS 482. In the Wraith, he and his innocent guests can slip out of the everyday world and onto hidden roads that lead to an astonishing playground of amusement he calls Christmasland. Mile by mile, the journey across the highway. What? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So mile by mile, the journey across the highway of Charlie's twisted imagination transforms precious passengers, leaving them as terrifying and unstoppable as their benefactor. So this, to me, it sounded like a horror book to begin with.
Right.
And going to Goodreads, NOS 4A2 by Joe Hill.
Oh, Nosferatu.
Apparently, he has a lot of books. What?
Yeah, Nosferatu. That's Nosferatu was the original black vampire movie way back in the 20s or 30s, I believe. No black and white movie. Predates Boris Karloff's Dracula.
Yeah, I couldn't understand a word of that.
Nosferatu is the name of the book. It's also vampire movie made back in the 1920s or 1930s.
Okay.
So I
I'm
think
I'm missing.
the Sci-Fi Channel had a short-lived series with the same name or spelling to it.
Okay. So that's that one. And that oops. And for
Are you having
everything's fine.
problems?
Well, I'm always a problem. You know that. Ever since
Are you
you've known me, I've always been a problem,
Well,
right?
are you having problems we can talk about, or is that a whole different category?
You're so funny. No, we're
I
fine. This is the last book.
Okay.
Do you see it?
No. The last picture I have of you is you leaning forward, holding a book in your lap, and that's it. You've been frozen for the last minute and a half.
Wow. Your connection sucks.
Yes.
Can you see me now? Hi.
No, I hear you, but I cannot see you. You'll have to describe to me what it is, so I can. Okay, now you're gone. Nope, there you're back. Hello.
I'll do that more often then. This is the book.
This is the book. What book?
You can't see it, huh?
You'll have to tell me what book you're holding up.
Can you see
Not
me?
a happy family. Okay. Yes, I can
Yes.
see you. I don't know why you didn't read the title to me, but yes. Not a happy family. Okay.
Yeah. It's basically about a couple that they're rich beyond their wildest dreams, that there's always going to be what's the word? There's some mystery behind it, and they're not as rich people aren't as happy as they let on. So I figured, what the hell? Why not? I think another YouTuber or booktuber had mentioned it to me. So yeah, that's the other book. And why I didn't want to just tell you, because I would rather show you what the book looks like, for visual acuity.
Well, the visual may be fine for other people, but for me right now, I have a series of still shots. So I'm only looking at still pictures of you. You really haven't moved much since we started talking. So it's like touring a museum of Kellie's pictures of her sitting, her leaning, her holding. So it's been a rather unique, collection I have.
Okay.
Like I said,
Interesting.
though, my connection right now, sitting outside the hotel, is not that great. I spent 40 minutes trying to get my laptop online to do this, so I didn't have to use my phone, and it's still trying to connect.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and that was 40 minutes before we started. So it's, so 40 minutes we've been on, so it's been an hour, and it still hasn't quite finished loading just the stuff to do this. So, yes.
Okay. Well, that's what I had to share. Do you have anything to mention?
Well, I went through my external hard drive to look for some things. I found a more updated copy of Ball, so I can work on fixing the bugs for that. I found a couple ideas I had, and I wasn't sure where they were going. One of which is, you have a yard. It's a top-down view. You have a series of trailers, and you have a yard truck, and you have to shuttle trailers around. You have to put them in docks and stuff like that. I've got it to where you can pick up the trailer, you can drive around with it, you can press the space bar to drop it. I've got a bunch of other trailers to sit there to let you move around. I have a working dock. Like, okay, this is an idea I toyed with at one point, so I might play around with that and see where that leads. There's an arcade game called Derby Owners Club. It's a very expensive, very fun horse racing simulation.
Okay.
And it was a game Don and I played. You get little cards with magnetic back on with your horse's stats. So you can save your horse, you can breed your horse, you can trade it and stuff, and you can create generations of racehorses. I kind of started doing, ways like that with auto racing.
Yeah.
To where you have your driver who's good for certain size tracks, and they has an endurance. You can use the space bar to either accelerate, and his endurance drops because he gets tired, and after a while, it builds back up. But that was an idea I was toying with. I don't know if it will really go to be much, but I found a couple other projects. So just putzing on things. I downloaded the new version of Game Maker Studio, which is Game Maker Studio 2. And the reason I downloaded it is because it allows me to make mobile versions of my games. But the downside is it's a subscription service, which I'm not really. I don't even have Netflix. I don't have subscription services to anything other than phone, heat, water, stuff like that. So I'm really debating if I want to really do stuff like this.
Huh? I said because you're cheap.
Well, no, I don't. Well, that too. But I'll be said, I don't need Netflix. Sorry, Netflix, but I've got like 8 different apps on my phone that are free, that are just as good, if not better than Netflix. I don't need Netflix. I don't need Disney. I've got dozens of Disney movies. I got dozens of Pixar movies. It's kind of embarrassing, but I don't need subscription services. So I downloaded it to try it to see what the offer is, because eventually I may have to. But the subscription is only needed if you plan to publish your game. If I plan to make an executable to trade, I need to have the subscription active. But without it, I can, create all like tomorrow's content. But if I want to show it to you, I have to pay $9 a month to show it to you.
Okay.
And this is the part to me that I feel is kind of weird, because game design programs shouldn't be subscription based. Games, yes, you can make game subscription, but the programs to create them, I don't understand it. And it's like, well, because we need the money to expand, to do stuff. Okay, that's fine, but you should work. I mean, you got to work within certain limits. You can expand to a point, yes, but making people pay every month for your services, it just, to me, is kind of a weird thing to have.
So why don't you go with the first program that you had for game making?
Because eventually at one point that will be phased out.
Okay.
It will no longer be supported. Like the Game Maker 8.1 is no longer supported. Game Maker 1.4 is. For how long? Who knows? Eventually, Yo-Yo Games will stop supporting it, which means the program will be worthless. Which means I will have to either go to a whole new thing like Unity or Godot or something, and learn their language, or pay that. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
So these are things that's on the block.
You could always go with another program.
Oh yeah, I've had friends who tell me, "Oh, you should go to this. You should try this." It's like there's no consistency. But I mean, I have Unity, I have Godot, I have those others. I want to finish the stuff I have with Game Maker before I transfer to something else.
Okay.
Because I feel that, I started them, maybe finish them, see where they go, then work with a whole new thing. Because I don't want to leave a bunch of unfinished projects.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I got rid of Godot. I got rid of Game Maker stuff on my computer because my main thing is Unity. When I get back and forth to doing that. Now you froze.
Oh, hold on.
I can hear your voice. Kind of like the same thing that happened to you, apparently. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. So, I used to play subscription games, but now I don't. So because I really don't have, when you pay a monthly fee, you have to invest time with it. You just can't go, 20 minutes a day and say that's good enough. Don't touch it for weeks because you're paying so much a month for it. World of Warcraft is one. You pay $9 a month. I played that briefly. I played Star Wars Galaxies for a while. The game that I play now online is called Darkwind War on Wheels. It's a 3D third-person Car Wars vehicle-based game.
Mm-hmm.
And that is free to play. It's an older game, but it's still fun, still popular. I like that because you don't need to invest constant time with it. So.
Okay. I have plenty of subscriptions. I mean, I'm gonna get rid of more than a few subscriptions next year when they come due. I was thinking. I'm still on the fence about getting Netflix. I'm probably going to get rid of Disney Plus. I'm not sure about Hulu. And then I also have a subscription with my cable.
Okay.
Because that's $25 a month. So there's only so much time in the day that you can literally devote yourself to something. So.
True. There's that one app you can get that tracks how much you're spending and tells you how many subscriptions you have. And it's like, oh my God, I don't believe I had half of these anymore. But yeah, I've got a friend who has Disney Plus, and I was over there, and he's showing me all the Disney channels. I'm like, wow, that's I have that one. I have that one. I was hoping though they would have had the Kurt Russell series, but they didn't, which was a surprise.
What's the Kurt Russell series?
Oh God, Kurt Russell was the darling of Disney in the late '60s and '70s. Him and Jan Michael Vincent, they made like a dozen movies.
Well, I know who he is, but I didn't know he had an assortment of movies.
Oh God, yeah. The Computer Who Wore Tennis Shoes. It's numerous ones. Try looking him up. Try when you bring Disney up, see, type in his name and see what you get other than Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but the two of them, they made a boatload of movies for Disney.
Well, actually, recently I've been wanting because I was watching Marlee Matlin on YouTube, and I was like, I want to watch that movie, and lo and behold, Roku has it now.
Okay.
The Roku app. I have Roku on both TVs, and Children of a Lesser God. I'm watching that, so I'll be watching that this afternoon again.
Okay.
So, it's a good movie. Marlee Matlin is my favorite actress that happens to be deaf.
Oh, cool.
So,
I'm currently binge watching a series on Tubi called Bunheads, Bunheads. It's a comedy written by the same people who wrote The Gilmore Girls. It's funny, it's clever, the dialogue is fast paced and witty. I like it. It's one of my little guilty pleasure type things. It's only 14 episodes.
what's it about?
It's a lady who's a dancer in Vegas who marries a guy, not really her boyfriend, but the guy's been pursuing her and she agrees to marry him. But he is killed after bringing her home to mother, and she is living with mom, who is also a professional ballet dancer who teaches. And she's eventually, coming into her own there. But it's a really well written, funny series.
I'll have to check it out.
Oh yeah, I'm on like episode 8 already.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything today, so I'm going to end up probably staying in the house. It's too wet to do the lawn today, so.
Rain wet or muggy wet?
A bit between. Because Alexa told me it's not supposed to rain, but, I was taking Cass outside for her normal, and it felt that the grass had the dew on it. It was like, no. If anything, maybe later on this afternoon, but most likely to be tomorrow.
Ah, all right.
But yeah, so that's what's going on.
Okay,
Nothing special.
All right, I was hoping to be home for its rain because I put a new back door in. I want to test it. I want to make sure it keeps the outside where it belongs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's what's going on with me today. I uploaded, I think, 2 more videos today. One is an update of that one book that I'm reading, Beyond the Darkness, and the other one is more of a venting, if you will. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, my thoughts are, if you don't want to watch me, have a good day. So anyway, not a big deal.
All right.
I have little buggies over here, but I'm going to cut this short. Did you have anything else that you want to mention?
Not really. It's been a slow news day here in Lake Wobegon. So.
Okay. It's been slow here. I haven't even had the energy to do much piano playing either. So we'll see how it goes.
I brought my guitar with me, and it sat in the truck for a few days. I tried just I have more things right now to work on than a guitar at the moment. So, but it's there when I get home.
There you go. All right. Well, it was nice talking to you for a little bit. Thanks for everybody that will watch it on replay. If you have any questions, let me know. Let Scott know, and you guys have a terrific Saturday. Stay indoors if it's too hot outside for you, okay?
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.